So now let's go to the next part of the presentation about Cascade EU fundings and other programs for SMEs. So please welcome the soul of this project, the EU officer at EASME, the European Agency of SMEs, dealing with this project since the beginning. She is also in charge of tracking other projects as Cascade fundings within the INRAE call. Please welcome Virginie Perron from the EU Project Officer at EASME in Belgium.
Good morning. So I hope you can see me and hear me and see my screen as well.
We can't see you, but we can hear you perfectly and see your screen.
So everything is fine. So then I can start. So good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be with you this morning. So indeed, my name is Virginie Perron. I am a project advisor in the Executive Agency for SMEs of the European Commission in Brussels. I'm indeed in charge of DIVA and all other SUP1 projects. And before I was a project advisor of the Enterprise Europe Network, so I know this network very well as well. So now we've been presented the very good results of the DIVA project, but it's true that this project is coming to an end at the end of this month, so there won't be any further funding opportunities for SMEs under DIVA, but the objective of my presentation is to give you some tips of other possibilities of funding for SMEs. So I will first start with a word about the SUP1 action. So it was already quickly presented by Marek from DG Grow. So the objective of this action funded under the H2020 program was to support cluster facilitated projects for new industrial value chains. So we gave between 4 and 5 million euros to each of the project. And one of the key features was that at least 75% of this amount had to be dedicated to support innovation in SMEs. So SMEs could be supported by different means. So indeed, financial support with vouchers, like it was the case with DIVA, but also non-financial support. It can be coaching services, it can be matchmaking activities. And one of the key features of all these projects is that there should be a cross-regional and a cross-sectoral dimension. The view is always the development of innovation, the development of new industrial value chains. And there should be close linkages as well with the regional policy in all the regions, with the smart specialization strategies. So in the next slide, I have indicated all the websites of all the 24 SUP1 projects we have supported since the beginning in 2015. So I have highlighted in green all the projects that addressed the agri-food, forestry, or environment sectors like DIVA. So it's about 12 projects. So you will see, if you want to find out more about each project, you have the websites indicated on the page. I guess you will have access to the presentations. 5 more projects will start in the spring this year. In the next slide, I wanted to give you an overview of the sectors covered by these 24 projects. So you will see that agri-food was quite popular. 10 of the 24 projects addressed the agri-food sector. We can see that circular economy, environment were also quite popular sectors, with 7 projects addressing these sectors, and ICT was present in almost all the projects we have funded so far. But you can see, I mean, a very wide range of sectors were covered by these SUP1 projects, including advanced manufacturing, energy, and so on. So in the next slide, I wanted to give you some figures. So Lydia mentioned that DIVA gave 2.7 million euros to SMEs, but in total, if we look at the first figures we had from the first 18 projects, it's more than 36 million euros that went to more than 2,600 SMEs from 39 countries. So these calls that they publish, they are not limited to EU 27 countries, but it can go well beyond. So if we look then now at the countries, so we can see on this slide that most of the SMEs that receive financial support were located in Spain, then France, Italy, Germany, etc., Greece, Netherlands. So it's more than 1,000 SMEs in total that received direct financial support through vouchers. If we look now on the next slide at the amounts that were allocated to SMEs per country, it's similar to the number of SMEs supported by country, and we can see that most of the funds were allocated to Spain, France, Italy, Germany, etc. It's quite in line with the size of the country, I would say, but in total it's more than 32 million euros that were given in direct financial support to SMEs. So all these projects, these SUP1 projects, they provide cascade funding. So how does it work? So in Brussels, what we do, we give grants. So as I said, 4 to 5 million euros to consortia made of SME intermediaries. So they can gather clusters, but they can gather regional development agencies, chambers of commerce, technology transfer offices, universities, etc. And these consortia, in turn, they organize sub-calls for third parties. So in your case, SMEs. So what is good for the SMEs is that by applying to cascade funding calls, there is far less competition than if an SME would apply for direct funding to EU calls. There is far less formalities, far less administrative burden. The application files are usually very, very short. The third parties, they get a very faster access to the financial support, and usually lump sums are used. So it means that invoices don't have to be presented and so on. It's much lighter. And as it was mentioned before as well, when an SME applies to cascade funding, it cannot get more than 60,000 euros from a same project. So I wanted to give you then an example of another SUP1 project, which is also in the similar sector than DIVA. So it's the Agri-Food project, which aims to stimulate the integration of IoT in the food production processes. So they have an open call now that is open until the 10th of March. So indeed, if you are interested, you should rush to apply. And what they offer different types of vouchers: exploration vouchers, validation vouchers, application vouchers, with different amounts depending on the size of the projects to be implemented by SMEs. So in this project, it targets indeed the food industry SMEs and again the ICT, IoT SMEs. So if you're interested, you will find more information on the website of this project. And then, okay, I've indicated on this slide a link to a page on the Europower website where you can find all calls for cascade funding that are currently open. So they are all published there. So it's really from not only from the projects we mentioned, not only from the SUP1 projects, but there are several projects funded by DG Connect, by DG Grow, under COSME, under many other funding framework. So all these projects that offer financial support to third parties, including SMEs, are available on that page. And then, okay, in addition to these projects, the cascade funding projects, as I said before, SMEs can apply directly to EU grants. So there are several opportunities under the European Innovation Council, for instance, the Accelerator Scheme, the Pathfinder Scheme. The first calls under Horizon Europe will be launched later this year. So calls addressing many different sectors, including food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, environment, etc. Marek mentioned the Future Eurocluster initiative with the first call to be launched later this year. I think this will also include cascade funding. But as I said before, if an SME applies directly to EU grant, you have to keep in mind that there is really high competition. So it means very low success rate and that the formalities are really huge as well. Anyway, if you're interested, you will find more information on the links I have added on this slide. And then, so I understand that for an SME, it can be a bit difficult to find the right schemes to apply with the right sources of funding. So, of course, you can always rely on clusters for those of you who are members of clusters, but I wanted also to say a word about the Enterprise Europe Network. They are co-organizing this event today. So indeed, we have more than 600 organizations all over the world. So they can provide you help regarding EU legislation, EU funding opportunities, business partnering, innovation support. So you will find all the contact details on the link I've indicated on that page. And that was it. So thanks a lot for your attention.
Well, Virginie, thank you so much for being so clear, and thank you for all the help you've actually given to everybody that wants to start off, and for explaining in such detail how you do this incredible EU cascade funding. Now we're going to go to the next part, and all the participants, be very aware, because now it's going to be your time to vote at the end of all the speakers speaking, because we are going to start our digital solution for Agrifood and Forestry, the selection of DIVA funded projects, session 1, and this will include a voting period to choose the best moderation project of the audience. We have 6 speakers, and once they are all done, we will let you vote, and at the end of the program, in the award ceremony, we will give out the prizes. So let's start off with the first moderation speak. We have from Digital Seed, presented by Remy Perron from INRAE Biotech. All yours.
Hello. Thank you, Rosemary, for the introduction. So I'm glad today to start the pitch session of the DIVA project. So I would like first to use this opportunity to thank the DIVA organization to allow us to proceed with a quite a challenging project. So our project was called Digital Seed. In fact, at INRAE, we are a bioinformatics startup. So we are building digital twins of living organisms, and especially of crops. And the idea behind this project was to test this technology to improve plant breeding process. Because plant breeding is a long processes, around 10 years to have a new varieties in average. And the increase is small in terms of around 10% increase of yield if everything is going well. So the idea was to improve this because we need to produce more for feeding the human population in the coming years. So our idea was to use our technology of digital twin to try to improve the classical method used by breeders, which is based on genomic selection. Genomic selection allows to predict the traits of the plant based on their on knowledge on their DNA. And by using our digital twins, we should be able to improve our prediction accuracy of the trait. And this prediction accuracy is very important to well decide who should be crossed to obtain the best varieties at the end. So we developed the model in silico, and then we run experimental validation thanks to INRAE facilities with a robotized phenotyping platform, and also we performed a field experiment. And then we were able to compare the prediction capacity of our models compared to genomic selection. And we found that we were able to improve the accuracy. You have on the bottom part where with classical selection, genetic selection to predict complex traits like a biomass increase, the accuracy were 0.29, which were observed in our experiment. And thanks to the digital plant, our technology, we're able to increase this prediction accuracy by around 40%, which is higher than our expectation to validate our method, and which is very significant in terms of prediction accuracy for the breeding process. And also we were able to identify that we have some range of improvement to reach the optimality, and by improving our models. So we should be able in the coming years to perform better. So this to say that the project was quite successful. So we were able to increase the accuracy of the gold standard method used by breeders, and we have still we could do better in the coming years. So I would like to thank the DIVA project for the funding to have allowed us to make this demonstration of a new technology based on digital twin. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Remy. We have to remind to the next speakers, we have 2 minutes. So they're going to also give you one slide, and the next moderation pitch is going to be from EcoFarm, presented by Julie Caubel from Ecoclimasol. So welcome, you have 2 minutes. Julie Caubel from Ecoclimasol. EcoFarm, are you there? We can't hear you or see you. Let's see. 1 second, please. Well, we're going to go to the next one. The next moderation pitch is from Greenlawn, presented by Adriana de la Cruz Irondo, and from Elon. Welcome, Adriana, all yours. You have 2 minutes and 1 slide.
Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. I'm sure many of you have planned an excursion to the mountain during the last month. Or if you are not one of those who walk, you have enjoyed contemplating a landscape from a viewpoint. But these landscapes that make us feel so good don't make care of themselves alone. Public and private entities are in charge of the good development of this. Extensive livestock farming plays an extraordinary role in this regard. This activity doesn't only provide quality products because of the feed and movement of the animals, it is an activity that promotes the conservation of pastures, the culture of the territory, reduce the possibility of fires, and in short, it is an activity of environmental conservation. Unfortunately, this activity has been reduced due to the low profitability and a high degree of dependency, which has hindered the management of ecosystems and the lack of generational life. Seeing this need to preserve an extensive farming and improve the farmer's life, Greenlawn was born. I'm Adriana de la Cruz, project manager in this new business line powered by Elon Smart Tech. Greenlawn is the extensive real-time livestock monitoring system, and it is based in geolocation device and its monitoring and management application that we can see in the screen, both the hardware and the software. And this solution facilitates and optimizes the management of livestock, pastures, and the use of natural resources. With Bellon, the loss of livestock is reduced through program alarms and the intelligent fencing. Searching time is optimized because of the real-time locations, and searching time is optimal and management decisions improve because they base on objective data. This project has been developed with the collaborations of 3 farmers for the different phases of the project, creation, validation, and development. And receiving constant feedback from them has helped us to make a product that meets the real need of the farmers. So Bellon will give you information about your cattle whenever you want, wherever you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adriana, for your wonderful speech. And now we're going to go to the next moderation speech. This is going to be from Local Farm, presented by Lorenzo Beccari from Local Green. All yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to everyone. I'm Lorenzo Beccari, and I'm the co-founder of Local Green. Local Green is a startup operating in vertical farming, meaning that we grow crops in environment artificially controlled, meaning that we use LED to replace sun, we use aeroponics to replace soil, and we control all the environment condition of our facilities. We started our journey developing a technology able to cut up to 75% the initial and the operative cost of a vertical farming compared to competitors. We have been awarded by DIVA Maturation Instrument, and thanks to their support, we started building our prototype. We built up a growth chamber where we installed our vertical walls with different LEDs, and we installed also some cameras to assess the growth rate of crops. In fact, our aim was to maximize the ratio between the dry mass and the day after seeding in order to have higher productivity and very short production cycle. In fact, in vertical farming, we can reach a production that is up to 300 times more productive than traditional agriculture. To give you an idea, we can reach up to 20 production cycle per year, where in traditional agriculture, you can have 3, 4, 5 per year. But after that, we started to test some parameters to assess that if our technology was really effective as we expected. First of all, we started testing the productivities, assessing how much kilograms per square meters per year we could produce, and we started with lettuces, and we reached a result that was above the target. Then we started also to test how much of this production was waste, and we reached a very excellent result, because in traditional agriculture, one of other problems, as I know, is the part of for example, the lettuce that have to be discarded because it is not perfect or ready for the market. Then we started to assess also the operations. In particular, we have the harvest and transplant. Despite at the beginning we didn't reach the expected result, nowadays with some adjustment we reached a result that is 5 seconds per plant, meaning that we are much more competitive than traditional agriculture and other vertical farming. Last things was to assess the investments. So we, with the support of an engineering company, we industrialized our technology, and we reached our target of having investment cost lower than 650 euros per square meters. That is around 75% lower than other vertical farming technologies available on the market. Thank you to everyone.
Well, thank you, Lorenzo, for your explanation. And now we're going to go to the next moderation speech. This time is MGTB, presented by Annabelle Levert from My Training Box. All yours, Annabelle. Are you here, Annabelle? Are you with us? I can see the presentation. I cannot...
Yeah, but it's not.
Perfect.
Everyone, it's Annabelle. It's Laurent de Dieu presenting. Can you give him the presentation, please?
Yes, it's there. My green training box.
Yeah, it's Laurent de Dieu, my green training box, and not Annabelle Levert. Sorry.
Oh.
Presenting. Can you give him the mic?
Who is it?
Laurent de Dieu.
Laurent de Dieu.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Laurent de Dieu.
Yeah, D-E-D-E.
We just activated the microphone for Laurent de Dieu.
Thank you.
Okay, well, so far we've had Digital Seed speak from Grelon, also Local Farm, and now we are with My Green Training Box, and we still have another 2 to go. Eco Farm, which was missing before, will be at the end.
Hello, do you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Yeah, my name is Laurent de Dieu, and I am My Green Training Box EU Project Manager. My Green Training Box is the first free access digital learning streaming platform on sustainable agriculture. We initiated My Green Training Box development thanks to a DIVA voucher in 2019. My Green Training Box objective is to give free access to high quality scientific and pedagogical digital trainings to professionals, farmers, technicians, students, teachers, etc. In order to provide high quality contents, we are collaborating with international scientific and technical experts. Basically, they put their knowledge into the green box, and the box is turning the expertise into digital learning. The box is even making sure that contents will be updated regularly. People sometimes asking us if My Green Training Box is a MOOC. It isn't. Our platform is responsive, available 24/7, and can be implemented in any education or training curriculum. My Green Training Box can be used for e-learning, distance learning, blended learning, and even classic face-to-face learning. We developed the platform in 4 languages, English, French, Spanish, and Italian, and the first training materials on biocontrol in 2019. We tested the platform last year with about 400 users and officially launched it last October 2020. Today, My Green Training Box is a brand new company, including 7 collaborators, more than 1,000 users. We are releasing at least a new digital training in French and in English each month, and our new releases agenda is full until end of December. The platform is used in many agricultural schools and universities in France. It is the official digital learning provider of the industries of biocontrol and biostimulants, and we joined 3 H2020 Green Deal Consortium to use the platform to transform the result of those projects into digital trainings. And for tomorrow, we have already started the development of the V2 of My Green Training Box app. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laurent, for your speech. And now the next moderation pitch will be from S. Eager by Raul Sanchez Cañadas from Slow Philosophy. Raul, all yours.
Hi, everybody. Okay, well, nice to meet you. I'm Raul, I'm the CEO of the Low Philosophy. Our project was, the main goal of our project was recover or refill the empty hectares in Spain that we already have in Spain, 6 million right now. So to do that, we create the first project that it was regarding to saffron field, okay, the spice. So we implement some, we implement 3 kinds of technologies. The first one was sensors. The sensors provide us data such as humidity, temperature of the soil, the climate change, all that stuff. So we put that on through an API. We put all that information in a database in Google Cloud platform. Then we implemented an AI algorithm, which objective is to make us better making decision, so we can improve the efficiency of our land, and then we can create better ways to implement such techniques. Okay, so on the other hand, this algorithm provide us a really great option to match such a normal areas, stakeholders that are one so far for the other one. For instance, we connect and we create a match between agricultural entrepreneurs with empty fields, for sure. Then we connect and we create a match between public administration companies with those projects that can generate economy in those places. And then for sure, we already have created this first project looking for the regenerative of the land. So at the end, and this is the moment where we are right now, we are implementing a web platform, the crop, where you can search your crop. For instance, if you decide to plant saffron, you put there the crop, and then they will provide you the best place to put the saffron. Or on the other hand, you can select your field, and then we will provide you the best crop that you can put there. So more or less, this is everything that we already done with the DIVA grant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Raul, for all your explanation. And now finally, we're going to go with EcoFarm, presented by Julie Caubel from Ecoclimasol.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, perfectly, Julie. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Thank you. So thank you for this opportunity to pitch our project. So I'm representing the Ecoclimasol SME, and we deployed the web application Etofi that helps farmers, crop technicians, and advisors to evaluate and control the risk of toxicity of crop pesticides. So the risk of toxicity concerns risk on operator's health in terms of acute and chronic toxicity, and risk for environment in terms of impact on air, water, and soil organisms. These risks are evaluated through 2 indicators that are computed in Etofi. These indicators were proposed by the French Public Research, Etofi being really the result of a scientific work validated by research, and a technological investment to make it accessible to all. Indicators are computed from the toxicological and ecotoxicological parameters from the European homologation tests done on the active ingredients containing the pesticide. So with Etofi, users can, for example, select less toxic pesticides than those they usually apply. And so they can privilege, for example, the preservation of aquatic organisms or soil organisms, depending on their geographical and environmental context. And they can also have an overview of the footprint of the pesticide treatments carried out in the field. So it is a useful tool for minimizing the risk of toxicity of pesticide practices, and therefore for benchmarking production, or for complying with environmental labels, or just for evaluating and justifying the efforts for We deployed the Etofi web in France, and we adapted the solution to some European countries, such as Belgium or Great Britain. And we have now established solid partnerships with farm management software, and have some important clients, such as, for example, La Veuve Clicquot, one of the most famous champagne house in France. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Julie. Now it's going to be the time for all of the audience to vote the best moderation project. On your screens, you're going to see there's going to be the 6 options, and we're going to give you a couple of seconds so you can choose who is going to be the winner. And at the end of the program, we will, in the award ceremony, we will give out the names. So now you can choose between Digital Seed, which was presented by Remy Perron. You have Green Lawn, which was presented from Adriana de la Cruz. You have Local Farm, presented by Lorenzo Beccari. MGTB, presented by Laurent Debiu. SEGAR, presented by Raul Sanchez Cañadas. And finally, EcoFarm. EcoFarm is the second option because we weren't able to communicate with her, but as you can see, it's the second option. So please feel free to vote who you think was the best moderation project out of all 6 of them. And as I just said, at the end of the program, at the award ceremony, we will be giving out the winner, the name of the winner. So now is your time to vote. Okay, I'm gonna close the voting. And let's go to the next part of the presentation. So now we have a very important part also. All of them are important, but this one is quite nice. We have 2 inspirational speakers that are going to talk to us from the future of the smart agro farming forestry sector in Europe. And I want to also let you know that we're going to have the chat open so you can ask any questions to both of the speakers. And at the end of their speech, I will let them know the questions you have asked. So please feel free to ask them any questions. The first speaker is going to be Véronique Bellon-Maurel. She's Deputy Head of Numm Department at INRAE, France. And let me tell you a little bit about her because she's got a pretty good curriculum. She's an agriculture engineer, specialized in optical sensors for characterizing organic products such as plants, agricultural products, organic waste in a real environment, in particular in precision agriculture. In 2016, she founded DigiAg, which has got a 10 million euro funding from the Investment for the Future PIA program and gathers 550 researchers, engineers, and technicians from 29 research units. In 2020, she created Oxytown, a living lab also funded by PIA, in which digital technologies are mobilized to promote the development of agroecology and local food in Occitane. So please welcome Véronique Bellon-Maurel from the Deputy Head of Numm Department at INRAE, France. Welcome.
Hello, thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I don't know why they say that I have to share my video.
So far, it's not being shared.
Sorry,
right
now there is meeting alert saying that I have to share my video. Okay, so try again. That's better. Much better. Okay.
Okay, now. Perfect.
Yeah, is it okay? Okay, good. Sorry for that. So I'm going to let you know about some insights about the new trends and perspective of research and development for digital solutions in the agri-food sector. So first of all, there are definitely 3 technical levers for innovative digital solutions that are fairly new. The first one is data. I didn't write big data because, as Nicolas said, we don't know if it's really big or not. Satellite images, connected objects, embedded sensors, high throughput phenotyping, etc. They give more and more data, and some of them are big. Second important feature is artificial intelligence and high performance computing, which allows us to process data with data mining, deep learning, machine learning approaches. And the third one is connectivity through internet. And the connectivity is now carried out between objects, between human and objects, animal, human, and so on. And so these three technical levers really make digital agriculture, which is a quite new concept. It is only 5-6 years old. And what is nice is that you showed it very nicely. Digital agriculture addresses the whole agri-food sector. And also it includes not only technical, but also social and organizational innovations. And sometimes, I mean, the main part of the innovation will be organizational, but it will have been enabled by the digital technologies. So for us, there are three main areas which are open to digital technologies in the agri-food sector. The first one is better production management. Okay, and here we say we are on the farm. The second important area is the one of the inclusion. And so these technologies help the farmers to be more embedded, more included in the value chains or in the territories. And the last one deals with data, which enable us to create better knowledge and to have also better learning services. So it's important also to stress that all types of agriculture are concerned. Up to now, there have been a kind of association between digital technologies and so-called industrial agriculture. But it's very important to focus also on the new issues of digital tools for agroecology and for smallholders. We definitely think that there are a lot of innovation to be found in these both domains. So,
Véronique, sorry to interrupt you. I think your presentation, your slides are not moving. You're not in presentation.
I'm moving. Sorry for that. I'm moving in my part, so something is wrong. Sorry for that. Okay, let's try something else. Let's go. Okay. Is it better?
It's still like the only thing, or you can put it in presentation mode, or just like, you know.
Okay, sorry. Yes. Okay. So here you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe there. I'm sorry for that. Okay, I'm afraid I don't have time to go inside. Let's try. Not working? No?
No.
Okay, so sorry for that. So I just.
Yes, you can just go like that.
Yeah, I just show you the last picture. Sorry. Okay, here it is. So I made it a little bit bigger. Yeah. So all types of agriculture are concerned, and so we will focus on digital tools for agroecology and smallholders. So the first point is, as I told you, the first main area is better production. And so for us, the digital technologies are able to create a kind of augmented farmer. In trouble. Okay, the augmented farmer is augmented with regard to the perception, to regard to the cognition, so with the perception with sensors, to the cognition, and to the physical power. And so this kind of control or decision loop is can be carried out either at the plot or at the animal scale, which is a precision agriculture scale, but it can also be carried out for strategic decisions. So we are going to go through these 3 different points. Oh, sorry for that. Okay. Excuse me, I'm not aided. Okay.
You're telling me, so
yeah,
you can put it in presentation mode in the bottom right button.
That's what I did.
Oh,
that's what I did actually. Is it changing now or not?
No.
Yeah, that's what I did.
We can see.
It worked yesterday. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Sorry with that. It worked perfectly.
When it's live. No problem.
Okay, so augmented perception. Okay, we have now stationary sensors, proximal sensors, airborne sensors, which are available. If we consider agroecological needs, we really need to have early detection of problems. So sensors that can say that there is a disease or there is an issue of stress or whatever, either on the plant or on the animals. And also we have to develop new knowledge, and phenotyping is an issue because we will, in agroecology, we will have much more combination with, for instance, mixed crops. So we need to create this knowledge, which up to now doesn't exist. Oh, sorry for that. That's okay. So this gives birth to trends and perspectives, such as designing low-cost, easy-to-maintain sensors for farmers. And satellite images are a good option. Sentinel-2 images are free. Smart sensors based on home electronics. Nicola told about frugal technologies, and definitely home electronics is frugal technology. And smartphones, which are very well deployed in the agricultural world also. Optical sensors are still very interesting, but also the hyperspectral or multispectral sensors may be dedicated more to phenotyping industrial companies. Artificial intelligence will be more and more a must, both to process images and to process time series. And we have to put more effort for the ergonomy, for the design of applications. And here, okay, I would like to show you 3 applications that have been designed by PhD students in Digitag. The first one is this one. Here, Léo Pichon uses a smartphone to help him measuring the water stress of the vineyard. This is a very delicate measurement to be done with a classical mode. And so what it does is that it counts the status, the number of apex, which are either in good condition, in standby, or in bad conditions. And he log the number of apex in this free status, and the model just let him know what is the water stress of the vineyard. So very, very easy way to do it. Here, a little bit more difficult. This is an application which has been designed by Julien Saron, PhD student at CIRAD, Pig's Fruit. And so we take pictures of mangoes, and with artificial intelligence, the system sees where the mangoes are, and this gives the yield of the mango tree. And this is a value that nobody has. Nobody measures the yield, and this is very important for all the mango value chain. And here, this system for Huster's detection, which is based on the time series coming from activity meters and body temperature sensors. So this is the work of a student from INRAE in Rennes, Digitag student also, and he was able also to have a very big gain on the sensitivity of Huster's detection. Okay, so next. Now, if we consider the augmented cognition, agroecology needs are that we have to create new knowledge from data. As I told you, agroecology needs new knowledge. We have also to represent the complexity. Agroecology has much more plant interaction in crop associations, but also plant-animal interactions. This is a multi-scale modeling. You have also to model the human factor. So what would be the human preferences, the farmer preferences. You have also to negotiate because you have to talk with your neighbors in circular economy. And also as agroecology deals with territories, it may also enable collective management. So the trend and perspective are to enable data for agricultural, artificial intelligence. There are issues about data quality, especially if data is collected through crowdsourcing. Of course, issues of access to data and transmission. We talked about IoT. If we consider sensor networks, you have also questions of power, of being able to transmit also from very remote places. So the second point, which is to be considered and worked out in research, is being able to couple very classical analytical models with data-driven models, but also to integrate the farmers' knowledge and preferences, to build decision aid systems that preserve the autonomy of decision of farmers. This means that if you offer the farmer a decision, this has to be interpretable and he has to be able to understand why the decision has been taken. We have also to integrate the farm specificity in order to avoid the standardization, and designing companion models, which are simulation models, are very important for either collective or strategic individual decision, especially when you deal with the transition, the agroecological transition, because the farmers have to have an idea of what will be the farm in the next years. So digital twins are very required. Last point, the augmented physical power. So the agroecology needs are the following. There are a lot of milking robots, especially in France, but they have to be made compatible with pastures, because in agroecology, the cows have to spend time at pasture. And also, we have to invent a mobile robot for weeding, for the mid crops, for agroforestry. So in that point, the trends and perspective are for the robots to improve the navigation, to have a precise geolocation, especially in the places where there is no satellite geolocation. Integrity, traversability, security are also unescapable challenges for navigation. We also have to think not to develop too big robots, but to have collaboration of small robots, which is much more versatile and less costly. And last point, as for sensors, the cost of robots and the cost of maintenance are points of interest. So it's important also to think of developing low-cost robots, and there are some interesting principles in so-called low-high tech developed by MIT. So second main important feature is how these digital technologies help farmers to be better included in society. And I will only focus on the value chain. So for us, digital technologies, and you showed it very nicely, is a unique opportunity to bridge a gap between the farmers and the consumers. And we have mainly two kind of food systems, either local food systems, and here the opportunity and the needs are really the disintermediation, which is offering the farmer the opportunity to sell directly to the consumers. And in global value chain, the most important thing is a traceability. Okay, so it's also a way, the traceability is also the way for the farmer to be in contact with the consumer. And so the trends and perspective are for the local food, the marketplaces have to be improved. The platformization is not as good as possible now. Okay, so there are issues here, and I remember the Metcalfe law. Okay, you need big networks, but you also need logistics, and so this has to be looked at also in projects like DIVA. Okay, and planification may be also an issue. For instance, in France, there will be much more public procurement to feed, for instance, to supply food, to supply the canteen with food with the EGalim law. And so planification may be something to look at. In global value chain, the traceability is very important because it creates trust. And blockchain are kind of magic words saying that everything will go well. So it's a solution, but you have to consider two things. So blockchains are information flows, they are not product flow. And so you have to link the information flow with the product flow in order to avoid the frauds. And also the blockchain has to be responsible. There are a lot of questions of power balance between the stakeholders of the blockchain, and so this has to be tackled also. And the last point is that if you want to talk to consumers, you have also to transform this traceability data into valuable information, and so this has to do with psychology, cognitive psychology, and so on. It's not tribal. As a conclusion, the digital revolution is unescapable. And so our question is how to build the digital technologies which are as good as possible, which are good for everybody, both for the person who make the technologies and for the ones who use them and for the society. There are risks which are allocated to digital technologies, including inclusion risk, socio-economical risk, technical, social risk of social changes, and environmental risk. And those risks are really to be dealt with to increase the adoption and to develop responsible digital technologies. So the first point is that we all have to use a responsible research and innovation approach, and I will encourage you to read Stilgo. And Living Lab, we believe that Living Lab are a way to set up this responsible research and innovation approach in which stakeholders are embedded and participate. And the second point, which is very important, especially when we talk about data and data economy, is that we have to prepare jointly the capacities, which means education, but also the public policies that will accompany the development of digital technologies in order to ensure the best use of these technologies for the good of all. So sorry for the problems, and thank you very much.
Don't worry at all, Veronique. This is normal. We're going live. The only thing, we have a question for you, if you wouldn't mind answering. One of them is, what about data sharing issue, particularly from farmer point of view?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I didn't have time to talk about everything, but data sharing issue is a big issue. It was in the last tag, you know, about knowledge creation. So there is an issue of public policy around data governance. That's for sure. Okay, so in France and in the US, I don't know a lot. I don't know if there are other in other countries, but the farmers and the farmer unions have set up kind of charts, you know. In the US, it's a Data Act Transparency Act, and in France, it's Data Agri, to help the farmer understand what will happen to their data. Okay, so it's a first step. but farmers really have to know what can happen to their data, and then there are a lot of this can be treated with consentment, agreement issues. We have a PhD thesis in Digitag really on that subject. It's a PhD thesis in law, and at present the farmers' data are not regulated by law. It's only the contracts, the law of the contracts, which apply in France, and so sometimes farmers are not skilled enough, have not enough skill in law, to be sure that they are not cheated with the contract they sign. So it's important to have more data, public policies around it.
Well, thank you very much, really, Véronique, for your incredible presentation, although we saw it differently, but it doesn't matter because at the end, we got the information. So thank you very, very much. We remind you all, to the participants, that you have a chat where you can actually ask any questions, or to Véronique or to the next participant. So it's open, and at the end of the speech, we will read all your questions if you have any. So now we're gonna go with our second inspirational speaker. It is Niels Gøtke, Head of Division at the Danish Agency of Science, Technology and Innovation in Denmark. So welcome, Niels. It is all yours.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. I can hear you and see you.
And I'll try to see if I can share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay, you can see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, my name is Niels Gøtke. As you just said, I'm from the Danish Agency for Science and Higher Education in Denmark, which is a part of the Danish Ministry for Research and Higher Education. And I'm going to say a little bit about one of the partnerships that I have been involved in, and also give you a little bit an overview about what is happening today in Europe in this digital area in food and agriculture. And yes, first I will say that that you see agriculture, food systems in relation with climate change, environmental issues, mentioning so many places. And we can say today that agri-food is responsible for some of the climate changes, but they're also part of the solution. So that's I think an important issue, and also an important area where we see that digitalization is coming in. In many ways, I see that the agri-food is at a crossroad. There are so many things that has to be combined. So many challenges, not only from climate and environmental issues, but also from the way that we behave, the way that we consume. So there are many challenges in the food system today, and at the same time, we also see that we have to increase the global food supplies, because we are going to be more people in the world, and we have to feed more people. When we go back in history, I've used this slide a couple of times. You can see that there's been an increase in productivity for a long time, and what you see is also that if you go back in time, we have seen bigger and bigger machines. So in many ways, the productivity increase in the fields have also been connected to the size of the machines. I think we are also here at a crossroad today. I think with the new smart techniques, robots, sensors, I'm not sure that we will see this increase in the size of machines to continue. But that's just to give you an historically background. If you go into to the discussions today, we talk very much about food systems. It's about how things are linked together. So we have to look at the whole chain, from production, processing, packaging, logistics, distribution, but also the way that we consume, what we are consuming, and also how we get rid of the waste that is coming from food production. And here we have to look not only in what we are putting into the mouth, but also how we get rid of the packaging or the materials that are also used for food production. I think that we can say that no single technology is needed to increase the sustainability of this food system, but it's for sure that the digital technologies they have a very big role here in getting this system to function. About trends, we have heard about this today, so I'll not say much about that, but I think we can say that we have trends in hardware. We see more sensors, more robotics, more network connectivity. We see also drop in prices. I think that's also something which is very important also when we look into the uptake of these new digital technologies. We also see trends in software, where we see the apps are coming in everywhere, use of big data, we see more integration, and we see also a need for standards. Concerning the ecosystem, we see also a lot of interest. A lot of startups have come into this area. At the same time, we see also that there are some tendencies for consolidation and market dominance by some of the big technology providers. What is ICT Agri-Food? ICT Agri-Food is a partnership. It's a so-called co-funded partnership. It was initiated in October 2019, and it will end in 2024. And it is co-funded under the Horizon 2020 program. And when we talk about such a partnership, it's a partnership between public partners. So that means we have countries, we have regions, funding bodies involved in this partnership. And here you have a map, and you can see that we have 22 countries all over Europe, including Turkey and Israel. We have 34 entities, partners. That means that we can have more public partners from the different countries. But it is a partnership between funders and member states. And that's the characteristic with these co-funded partnerships. I'll come a little bit back also and say later a little bit about how the partnerships will look like in Horizon Europe. We started way back. We started with the first partnership in 2009. And before that, we paved the way by having a working group where we tried to talk with other countries in Europe to see whether there was an interest to have an ERA-net, a partnership within this area. And in 2014, we got into our second mode period. So that was a continuation of this ICT Agri partnership. The first two partnerships that we had, ICT Agri 1 and ICT Agri 2, they had focus on the primary agriculture and their interrelations with the environment. So that was very much about precision farming and sustainable agriculture. We made a strategy at that time, which was published in 2013, and which was used also to implement some of the ideas that we, the partnership member states, they had, and that was made in the following period. So I would say the ICT Agri 2 was very much an implementation of what we found out in the first period. Today we have a new partnership which is now looking at the whole food chain. So we have now decided to go ahead and to expand the way that we are focusing. So we are not only now focusing on primary agriculture, but on the use of digital technologies in the whole food chain. And that was important both because of the developments that we have seen, but also because there was an interest in member states and in the Commission to go further and not just limit ourselves to what was in the primary agriculture. Such a partnership works in many areas, and what we are doing is that we are doing calls. So that's how you maybe can also be interested to work with an internet and other partnerships. That is to see how these calls can fit into what you are doing. These calls, they are decided by the funders, by the member states together, of course, in line with what is the scope of the partnership, what is the strategy, but also what is really seen as the most urgent issues that member states want to focus at. And the way that these partnerships are designed is that the countries, they come in with funding. This funding is used for projects where you go together with other countries. We have decided that we have to be at least 3 different countries in each project that we are running, and then yes, we have the normal evaluation process that you know from Horizon 2020 projects, and in the end, yes, then we decide on those projects which are allowed to go further. The first call in the internet has co-funding from the Commission, so that's something which is a technical thing, but also is showing the interest of linking such a partnership to what is also planned in the Horizon program. And this first partnership had 2 topics. I'll not go into detail with that. You can look at it at our website. But we had the first topic was about data-driven ICT platforms, and the other topic that was about the barriers for adaptation of ICT technologies, because that's still an issue, how to get more adaptation of these new technologies. The second call has just been announced here last week, and is going to be developed this year. So in May we will have the deadline for submission of proposals, And the next call that we are now running, we are doing together with other partnerships. So that's also something which is characteristic for these AeroNet partnerships. That is that they can do many things, and they can do it also together with other initiatives. And this time we have decided to work with 4 other AeroNets, and we have decided to focus on the scope circularity in mixed crops and livestock farming systems, and with a focus on climate change mitigation and adaptation. And also here you can find more information about this call in our website. I can say that as I just mentioned before, that funders, partners are coming in with their own rules. So therefore, some partners, they have interest in funding fundamental research, and other partners, they have interest in funding SMEs and applied research and innovation. So that's one of the challenges when we are making these calls, is really to fit things together and to describe them in a good call, which is attractive for the applicants. Beside of these 2 calls that we have now developed, we have also been working very closely together with ESA, the European Space Agency, where we have made advice also to 2 of their calls launched last year, and also participated in the ESA information meetings about the scope and content of these calls. A very nice, a good, close collaboration that we foresee will be continued during the lifetime of ICT Agri-Food. And then we are also talking about a new thing, a so-called competition or challenge call. I can see that's a spelling mistake in my presentation, but it's a challenge call, and that would be published, launched in 2022. It's about how we can get research teams working on the same challenge, and then learn from that, and then compete with each other in a contest, and then make a choice in the end. It's a very challenging thing. It's the French funding agency INRAE which has suggested this challenge theme for us, and yes, we have to work a little bit with that, but that could maybe be interesting for some of you. And and let's see, because that's what we have in our plan now. But I would imagine that we could have even further calls also coming up before that we end. A little bit about what's going on in Europe here in my next part, and yes, we can see that ICT digital solutions are something which are coming in many places. And there's been a lot of initiatives within the last 10, 15 years. I remember then when I started there, I think we was nearly alone in this playing field. And today there are so many things, and that I think that's also some of the challenges, but also an obligation for those of us who are in this area, that we also try to get connected in some way also to other initiatives, so that we can both learn from them, but also be informed about what they are doing. I've just ended my presentation about the ICT Agri-Food with this saying that we are also doing a lot of other things than making calls. We are working closely with the thematic smart specialization platform on Agri-Food. We are involved in a lot activities where we try to also help assist our projects so that they come closer to the market and become real business cases. So that's also a part of our network. We don't just stop with the calls, but we also try to get these calls out and to be presented for the audience. Now the next part of my presentation is a little bit about what's going on now. And here I'll start with the Horizon Europe program, which is just in the period where it is going to be finalized. I think that we will see that the calls will be published in the beginning, mid of April. And most of you have probably seen this figure before, but we have these 3 pillars. The first pillar about excellent science, the second pillar about the global challenges, and then the third pillar about innovation. And if I look at it with digital eyes, I would say that especially in pillar 2 and pillar 3, we have a lot of digital initiatives coming up. For the food area, we have in Horizon Europe created a new structure. It's more strategic. It is more impact driven. It's more related to policies, and as you can see, the food area is now together with natural resources and environment. So it's a very broad cluster that we have in front of us. But I think in many ways it is also showing the challenge that we are facing within the food and agri area, that we have also to look into how we deal with the environment, climate change, biodiversity. So that's the structure of the Horizon Europe program. It's a big program, nearly 100 billion euros. So it's a big thing. And yes, a lot of calls will soon be announced. Another thing, new thing, is also the Digital Europe program. I'll go fast through that because I think I have not so much time. But I think this figure, which is from the Commission, I think is very nice, showing that this Digital Europe program has to be complementary to the other programs with investments in digital solutions. So it has to fit with Horizon Europe. It has to fit with other initiatives, programs, and I think that's very important that we try to see how we can get this fit made in practice in a good way. In Denmark, what we do here is that we try, I'm from the Ministry of Research, but we try also to have a close contact with those who are dealing with the Digital Europe program and other programs, so that we in that way also can fit things together. I will not go much into the structure. We have heard also today about the digital and innovation hubs. They will continue. We will see also that agriculture will be one of the focus areas also for the future. And I think that's important. We need digital solutions to cope with all the challenges that we are facing within in agriculture and food. And yes, the digital innovation hubs, I think they have been quite successful, and there will also be a continuation of these hubs in the future. How they will be, they will be placed around in Europe. We don't know yet, and there are also a lot of decisions also in regions, member states, which has to be taken there. This slide gives you some information about one of the new partnerships that we will see in Horizon Europe, and it's about environmental observations for sustainable EU agriculture. We also call it agriculture of data. And it's a partnership which has to be developed now in the coming years. It will start in 23 to 24. It has the focus on how to support sustainable agriculture. It's very much about how to monitor and assist also in the policy implementation of the common agriculture policy, how to use digital and data technologies in an efficient way, and also how to use Earth observations. So that's some of the ideas which has been put into the very brief description that you can find in the web page of the Commission, where you see this partnership among other partnerships in Horizon Europe for the coming years. These partnerships will be a little bit different from what we saw in Horizon 2020. And this one, will go a little bit back also in some ways, because it will be having focus on primary agriculture. So what we are doing in the partnership that I've been talking about today, ICT Agri-Food, is more the whole food chain. Here we go back to agriculture. And the reason for that is that there's an urgent need, especially within the common agriculture policy, to come up with new digital solutions. So I think the idea of having this partnership is also something which is decided jointly between DG Agri and DG RTD, and it will start in 23-24. I'll go very fast. I have one slide, so I'll then stop. Going to this is my last slide. I would say that we have a lot of things going on now. We have many different areas of the Commission. DG Connect, DG Agri, RTD, Grow, Environment, Climate. So you see an interest for digital solutions in many places. We have some interesting initiatives. I will mention here the Innovation Partnership of Agriculture, but also other initiatives like EIT Food and the Smart Specialization platforms. And I think what is really necessary, and I think that is something for all of us, to you and to the Commission, that is really to see how we could get these initiatives connected in a smart, intelligent way. I think that's maybe one of the biggest challenges that we have in front of us, because everybody sees that there is a need for digital solutions. But how do we do it in a smart, intelligent way? I think that will be one of the challenges. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Niels, for your presentation. We would actually like to ask you a question. First of all, can SMEs or cluster join the partnership?
Yes, they can join the activities that we are doing. So if you look into to the calls that we are making, they will normally be open also for SMEs and smaller companies. But as I said, it's up to the countries, the partners, to decide in what way their funding can be used also to fund SMEs and private companies. But Denmark, for example, but also many other countries would like very much to see SMEs involved in the projects.
And for both speakers, or Veronique or Niels, whoever wants to answer, we are pushing digital innovation. What do you think of an environmental footprint of it? Should we care?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think we should care about everything. And use these new technologies in a way that we get satisfaction for both governments, but also for users. So yes.
Well, thank you very much, Niels. Thank you very much for your inspirational speech and for all the information. And well, we wish you a very pleasant day. Now we're going to go to this next part of the presentation, to digital solutions for Agri-Food and Forestry, selection of DIVA funded project session 2. And in this session, we'll include a voting period, just as we did at the moderation part, to choose the best demonstration project of the audience. So we have also 6 projects, 6 speakers, and the first one is going to be Crop by Veronica Bellon from FarmLeap. So Victoria, you have 1 slide and 2 minutes.
Thank you, Rosemary. Can you hear me well?
Perfect.
Thank you. So my name is Veronica Bellon. I'm Customer Success Manager at FarmLeap. We have found today that there is a lack of valorization of agricultural data, as it is little collected, used, and cross-referenced. This brings a lack of quantified indicators. And all of this makes strategic steering advice for crop rotation not enough practical and efficient, especially for farmers partners, which are, for example, cooperatives, traders, agribusinesses, and independent advisors. The crop project has been created by 2 French startups, which are OKP4 and FarmLeap. We have won a large-scale DIVA prize. And the principle of this project is to provide a steering tool for crop rotation. The idea is to offer an exhaustive vision of the agricultural territory by crossing data, different data sources such as climate, soil, or cultural practices, in order to get a better knowledge at the farm and the territory scale, especially thanks to the visualization of crop rotation and performance indicators. As you can see on this scheme on your screens, the crop tool allows to analyze data between agricultural sectors, territories, or farms, in order to plan surfaces, tonnages, to support the cooperative strategies, and to also advise farmers thanks to these reliable benchmarks. The idea also is to share reports and performance indicators. Thanks to the DIVA program, we have developed a proof of concept for the crop project. And now we will develop a pilot for this project, which will be integrated with economical, environmental, and other kind of data to this tool. And this pilot will be commercialized at the end of year 2021. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you very much, Victoria. We already have here Gianfranco from Fruit IoT. His name is Gianfranco Giannerini, and he is from Agronica. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Giannerini is my family name, but it's quite difficult to pronounce. But the project concern about the integration. We have a platform. My company has a product called GIF, that's a platform of farm management system, and it connects all the stakeholders of the food chain. So the product concerns with the integration of sensors, soil moisture, meteo sensors, satellite, into our platform. And then the integration of the platform with the irrigation DSS. That's a free open product made from the Reclamation Consortium Board that is oriented to the water saving. So the main innovation is the integration of the platform with the well-validated DSS for crop water management. Astra Demo Farm, that's a DIVA demo farm, tested the soundness of the tool in terms of water saving and providing us with tests and checks on yield and production quality to evaluate the soundness of the irrigation test. In all cases, data showed an increase in total production without quality reduction and important amounts of irrigation and water saving in irrigation. This practice maximizes the product's quality and the automatic data integration from sensors that simplify the activities of the farmers. The final results of the project confirm that the water saving and its environmental benefits in terms of sustainability can be achieved while maintaining cost down, fruit production, and fruit quality. The solution represents a step ahead of existing solution because it enables, in an integrated environment, the information flow along the value chain from the field to the industry. So it means from farm to fork. Now our platform is a step ahead of the existing solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Gianfranco. Now our next speaker will be Jorge from AI. Her name is Iratxe Perales from Sonicat Systems. Iratxe, all yours. I don't know if Iratxe is with us.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Iratxe Perales. I am the COO and co-founder at Sonicat Systems, the technology developer and coordinator of this DIVA project, Honey AI. Within this project, our company has tested in operational field the usability and performance of our solution, Honey AI, a low-cost automated microscope, which is capable to analyze a honey sample and conduct a complete pollen analysis in less than 1 hour. The pollen analysis is a common quality analysis widely used in the honey industry to assess the pollen concentration of each botanical species in a honey sample. It is performed to look for honey adulteration, as well as a criteria for legal labeling in Europe, and also to set the honey value in the market. The purer the concentration is, the highest the prices it becomes. Currently, the pollen analysis must be performed manually by a pollen expert in specialized food laboratories. But this method has several shortcomings. It requires a highly trained expert, it is time-consuming, it is poorly reproducible because of human errors, and also expensive, with a price ranging between 14 and 120 per analysis. In addition, the results are not received until 4 or 5 days after. Honey AI robot automatizes the tedious work of pollen analysis for honey's floral source authentication by means of a light microscope, computer vision, and deep learning tools. Our solution, specifically designed to be used by the end user themselves, is cost-effective because only costs €8 per test, allow on real-site time measurement, and reduces the human error. This DIVA demonstration project has been carried out together with our partner Untitled Honey, a honey trading company from Spain, and has been tested in 2 different Spanish demo sites, Sierras Andaluzas, who is a honey packing cooperative, and also Mediterránea Melis, a honey packing company. We have been able to test tens of different honey samples and to review the performance in terms of accuracy, repeatability, speed, and also to check usability constraints for the end users. We have also taken advantage of the project to extend our pollen library with new datasets of pictures, and also to improve the accuracy of the neural network. Last but not least, the mechanical design of the robot has been improved, and the manufacturing cost has been reduced to less than €3,000 per unit. Both demo sites have confirmed their satisfaction with Honey AI solution and have communicated their willingness to pay for our Honey AI solution once the product enters the market, which is expected for the end of this year. Honey AI is a scalable business which can be rapidly commercialized all around the world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Iratxe. Now our next speaker is going to be Antonios Theodosio from MilkSense and from Infoscope. Antonios.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Hello,
You're
right.
here.
My name is Antonios Theodosiou. I'm a hardware lead engineer in Infoscope Hellas. I would like to thank a lot, first, the DIVA Foundation for helping us put into operation our system called MilkSense. MilkSense is a complete telemetry platform that is applied to the milk. It addresses to various professionals activated in the food chain. However, the professionals that are benefited most from the system are farmers and the milk processing units. The system at the end leads to less wasted milk because of the continuous equipment monitoring, to better quality of the milk and the milk products generally because of the temperature monitoring continuous again and the early prediction of the microbial load within the milk. And of course to less CO2 emissions because of better intelligent planning that is done now from the milk plan, from the milk processing units, so as every truck can schedule the route before collecting the milk. The system has been developed by the cooperation of two ICT companies, Infoscope Hellas and SIO. Both of the companies have participated in the DIVA project. And whereas Infoscope Hellas, our company, has provided the sensors, the IoT gateways, and the cloud software as a service platform, and SIO has provided and developed the smart algorithm for predicting the microbial load. Thanks to DIVA, we were able to engage all those parties involved in this very big food chain that it would be difficult otherwise to do. For example, we were able to engage food technologists, that was Androulakis and partners, and of course to engage the farmers and the milk processing units, Feta Karayani. The system architecture is generally depicted in this illustration. We install IoT gateways both in the farmer side and to the milk processing unit side. The IoT gateway collects data from the milk tanks. The data are temperatures, agitation, the volume within the milk tanks, the state of the lid, if it's open or closed, the milk tank, and the working state, and the energy consumptions. At the end, the farmer gets an Android app, and they can have SMS, email, or phone call on event of deterioration of their milk. At the other side, on the milk processing unit, the system is more complex and it's specially tailored to the needs of every milk processing unit. Generally, we monitor the equipment. We are taking data from the chemical analysis applied into the milk processing unit. We monitor also pasteurization and predict microbial load within the bulk milk tanks at this time. Our secret sauce in this system, of course, is the smart AI algorithms for the early prediction of the microbial load, the combined rules that can lead to smart alerts and reports, so as we have very few or not at all false alarms, and of course the interoperability. We don't force anybody to
interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. The only thing, we have 2 minutes and it's only one slide. So please, if you could end the presentation.
That was a conclusion also. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, our next participant is from Polysmart. His name is Joao Encarnacal from Irideon. Welcome, Joao. You have 2 minutes and one slide. Hello, Joao. Are you here?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, what's the big issue? Many people do not realize, many do, that there are numerous crops that have to be pollinated by bees. And the big problem is that there are not enough bee pollination services that are capable to meet the demand. On top of that, the pollination services, the costs have been rising all over the world. Let's take a look at some facts and figures. For instance, in 2018, in the United States, in California, almond growers had to use 2 million honey bee colonies to pollinate their orchards, paying between $150 to $200 per hive. And then let's take a look at the problem in Europe. In Europe, there aren't enough honeybees to properly pollinate your crops. Basically, the estimation is that Europe lacks about more than 13 million beehives to properly pollinate their crops. What's the issue here is that growers pay for the service provided by beekeepers to give pollination services that basically consist on deploying hives in the fields. You can see in the picture in one of our pilot sites that beehives are deployed in the orchard, and then you let the bees do their work. How do growers pay? They basically pay for the number of hives that are deployed, and they pay for the strength or the health of each colony. What happens is that the growers and the beekeepers are completely blind to what's happening, really. Having a hive with a certain number of frames and bees is not a guarantee that the hives are foraging, meaning that they are leaving and coming back to the hive. So our sensor is used to digitize this value chain for the first time, using our sensor, as you can see in the picture, that manages that tracks the traffic of bees coming out, going out and coming in. You're capable for the first time to make a precise assessment if whether or not bees are foraging, how much they are foraging, in average, how much time do they take to forage, and even the death rate of bees while they're pollinating. With this, we solve two problems. On one hand, the grower knows for sure how each beehive is working on his behalf, and at the same time, the beekeepers inform of exactly when a hive should be deployed in the field, if in fact that hive is working and the bees are foraging, and when the bees stop foraging. That means that the beekeeper can collect the hive and provide the service to another customer. This speeds up a lot the pollination services. It optimizes a lot the use of the hives, and it's a way for having traceability that wasn't achieved before, making sure that the grower pays a fair and the proper price for the service, and the beekeeper can assure his customers that he's providing the pollination service that will produce the future yields in production that the grower is looking for. We've trialed this sensor in 3 sites in California, Romania, and Italy with 3 different crops, almonds, rapeseeds, and sweet chestnut. And in every single one of them, we're able to prove that indeed this sensor is capable of digitizing the pollination service and providing information to the growers and beekeepers that they didn't have so far. This technology is already ready to be rolled out to market, and as you can imagine, it's a multi-millionaire business where the food industry is eager to have a way of making sure that you have good pollination and very good yields in food crops. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Joao. Now, last but not least, we have Whoa Nature from Federico Pinato from Agrifood.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. My name is Federico Pinato from Agrifood, a spin-off company of the University of Padua, specialized in valuation and consultancy in responsible management of forests and natural resources. So let's start from a simple key fact. Trees and forests are a simple and effective solution for many of the challenges we face nowadays, in particular in cities, where they represent the so-called green infrastructures that can really make a difference in terms of citizens' quality of life and mitigation of the effects of climate change. And in the past years, we experienced an increasing number of requests concerning trees and urban forests by different stakeholders. So first, landowners, in particular public landowners that were coming to us asking for financial support to implement green infrastructure projects. Second, private companies willing to invest CSR resources in charismatic environmental projects. And finally, individual citizens who wanted to contribute to make their cities greener. So we developed Wow Nature, a web-based platform aiming to bring together these 3 different market demands and to connect landowners, private companies, and citizens to finance and implement urban forests. So with the support of the partner companies, Netec and Open Forest, we developed and implemented new digital technologies functions to improve the platform. in terms of investment transparency, visibility, users engagement, and reliability of impact. So specifically with the voucher allowed us to develop a user-friendly web-based map integrated in the platform, and to develop 2 new tools to facilitate the achievement and the maintenance of the FSC certification, which is the highest world standard to ensure the responsible management in terms of environmental, social, and economic aspects of forests. So today, Wow Nature is a successful and growing platform, and I wish to conclude by encouraging all of you visiting wownature.eu and adopting a tree to support a forest creation project. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Federico. Now, to all the participants, it's time to vote. You know, you have now on the screen, you're going to have a little thing where you're going to be able to vote. We're going to have the 6 contestants. You have crop, where Victoria Bevan spoke, fruit IoT from Gianfranco, Hone AI from Iratze, Milk Sense by Antonios, Polysmart by Joao, and Wow Nature from Federico. So now is your time to vote. You have a couple of seconds to vote one of these 6 demonstration pitches, and the winner, we will announce the winner at the end of the program at the award ceremony, together with the other 2 candidates. So, okay. We are done with the voting, and now let's go to the next part, which is voting for the best internationalization projects. This time we have 2. The first one is going to be HSR Go, presented by Kevin Beule from EASME Ecophilae. Welcome, Kevin. You have 2 minutes, 1 slide. Are you here, Kevin?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Welcome.
Okay. Is the camera working or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Your camera, no, but we can see the presentation.
Okay, that's great. Good morning. So I'm Kevin Beule from Ecophilae. I'm a project engineer, so there. Just say that wastewater is a burden. Right now, it's only a source of damage from the environment. It's only a cost. But we can change this burden into opportunity. And at Ecophilae, this is what we are working on. You can do a lot of things with wastewater. You can water parks, irrigate crops, you can recharge the aquifer. Ultimately, you can improve our resilience toward climate change. But so far, worldwide, only 2% of wastewater is reused. And we think it's mainly because of lack of knowledge, lack of communication between the right stakeholder, between the good people. For example, the wastewater utility and a farmers association don't talk often to each other. Whereas one has water, the other one needs water. And we think he will accept it if he will be well informed and he will even pay for it. You also have private companies that already have the technology to treat and reuse water, but they have no opportunity. And we think that all of this is happening because there is no place for them to meet, no place where reuse project can happen. That's why we have created this hotspot reuse platform. It's open and collaborative platform aimed at connecting these people to create the reuse loop. On this platform, if you have already implemented a reuse project, you can go show, promote your project and share your experience. If you have wastewater to deal with, you don't know what to do with it, you can go on the platform, look at how other people did it, how they have implemented their reuse project. You can get inspired. In the second stage, we are going to upgrade this platform into a marketplace where private company can register as partner, get opportunities, get business opportunity. And with DIVA and other financing, we aim at becoming the first marketplace for the water circular economy. This platform is very simple and intuitive. You have a nice interactive map. When you can look for projects around you, look for projects that will be similar to yours. It is open. You can sign in for free, add your project, browse through the exam project, browse the data, look for a partner to work with. But it is so reliable. It will be a reference where a network of intentional experts will certify the projects. So the version of the platform is ready, and it will be launched in less than 20 days. on the 23rd of March for the International Day of Water. The version 2 should be ready by the end of the year if we get enough financial support. And really this platform will be a game changer to boost the water circular economy. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Now our next speaker is going to be from Opus Agri, Noel Gøtke from Grass Tech Group. Noel, you have 2 minutes and 1 slide.
Great. Thank you, Rosemary. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Thank you. So, yeah, my name is Noel Gøtke, and I'm the co-founder of Opus Agri here in Ireland. Maybe first to take some context as to why Opus Agri was developed. In Ireland and in many other countries in Europe, there's been a significant increase in the development of agriculture and new farms, new herds, especially in the dairy enterprise, in the dairy industry. That significant increase has not been mirrored by the availability of workers to work on those farms. And there continues to be an imbalance between worker requirement and worker availability in Ireland, especially, but across Europe also. Again, another bit of context is that typically research has shown that farmers working 60 to 70 hours per week on average. And in peak times of the year, for example, in seasonal calving systems where there is an abundance of work to be done, that can go to 80 to 90 hours per week. So that is significant, but it's not sustainable from a health point of view, mental health point of view, or from a social or family point of view. So a solution is needed. So we developed Opus Agri as a digital online platform that links farmers and farm workers at a local, regional, national, and now international level on a casual, part-time and full-time basis. Precedent has already been in place for other industries for similar platforms, for example, the pharmacy industry, hotel catering industry, where with the hotel workers and hotel managers and so on, and are linked. So how does it work? As you can see on the screen, you have the platform in the center. It's an online platform on the left-hand side where farmers input data, they input their location, they input the job type that they need filled, the hours of work, everything about the jobs that they need to be done. And equally on the right-hand side in of the platform, you have workers inputting their information, their availability to do work, especially their geolocation as well, which is quite important in terms of the aspects of the program itself. We have built in then automated notification systems whereby we're looking at the geotagging, we're looking at keyword inputs, and an alert system that automatically links farmers and farm workers together. So that's Opus Agri. Again, sincere thanks to DIVA for the maturation voucher initially and the internationalization voucher subsequently. We've targeted New Zealand as the third country to pilot this project. It's up and running. opusagri.com is there. We already have 230 odd subscribers to it. It's growing. So thanks for listening. And again, sincere thanks to all involved with DIVA. Thank you.
Well, thank you to both of you. Now, again, is the time to vote for all the participants that are here. You will get in your screens the 2 options. We have HSR Go, presented by Kevin, and then, as you just saw right now, Opus Agri by Noel Gøtke. These are the 2 options. You have a couple of seconds, and at the end of the presentation, at the award ceremony, we will give out the name of the winner. So now is the time to vote. I just give you a couple of seconds, and in just a little bit, we're going to start with one of the last parts of the presentation, which is going to be our speaker's voice, our expert's voice, sorry. Okay. So the voting has ended. We will know the winners at the end in just a couple of minutes when we start the award ceremony. But first, let's go with our expert's voice. DIVA Advisory Board Members' feedbacks. So the advisory board has been set up with representatives of various stakeholders in agriculture, agri-food industry, forestry, ICT, and capital sectors. The members of the advisory board are entrusted with the following missions: to provide external advice on DIVA progress and to give the recommendations with regards to the main achievements of the project, to take part in the evaluation process of the DIVA open calls in order to help choose the most relevant proposals, and third, to produce advice in case of conflicts that cannot be solved fairly and rapidly at the steering committee level. So now, as we had before, we're gonna have our chat open so you can have or ask any questions. We're gonna have 3 voices speaking, and at the end of each one of the speeches, we will let a little bit of time so you can ask any of the questions. So first of all, we're gonna go with our first expert's voice, who is Dimitrios Argyropoulos from University College in Dublin, Ireland. He is an assistant professor in the UCD School of Biosystems and Food Engineering at the University College Dublin in Ireland. Welcome, Dimitrios. Hello, Dimitrios. Hello. Do we have Dimitrios?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. We can hear you and see you.
Great, great, great. I'm really happy to be here with you today. I would like to start my presentation. Okay, great, because I don't have access to my presentation. Okay, great, great. This is the right slide. I would say we have here today very interesting aspects, points. DIVA presents today full spec. Oh, here. This is the right slide. No, the other one. Great. And DIVA presents today full spectrum of digital solutions, I would say, innovation services spanning technological, organizational, and social. Also creating drivers for the future adoption of a portfolio of technological solutions all along the value chain, I would say. Pre-farm gate operations must be carried out as efficiently as possible. This is where new technology and systems such as smart farming or precision agriculture and precision livestock farming enable enhanced efficiency of on-farm operations and simultaneous monitoring for measurements and compliance purposes. In addition, we have seen also that efficiency in relation to food processing and distribution, as well as retail and the consumption, must also be realized. You can move to the next slide. Great. As far as smart farming focused projects are concerned, the main technological topics addressed by DIVA, but of course not limited to, were remote sensing, for example, use of satellite images for crop monitoring. Some characteristics examples of projects represent cover crop monitoring in France or nitrogen management in vineyards, water efficiency in soil in Spain, as good examples. Also, hyperspectral imaging for quality control at both pre-harvest and post-harvest stages. For example, incorporation of hyperspectral imaging techniques into stone fruit sector in Spain was a representative example. Then we had also great examples, the use of UAVs and drones carrying various sensors to provide farmers with better information about crop status, for example, aerial potato disease evaluation in France. And the application of IoT, we have here many examples, I would say, to collect and analyze data from a network of field sensors. And I remember a project on integration of IoT devices for sustainable production in Italy. Also, furthermore, to data analytics and big data analytics, I would say, to application of artificial intelligence techniques to model and optimize data acquisition from remote and proximal sensing. And last but not least, projects on focusing on development of decision support tools based on real-time information, soil monitoring, and weather forecasts. Next slide, please. The components of innovations. Innovation in DIVA. DIVA is a digital innovation-focused project, of course, realizing its aim through multi-source data acquisition, processing, and analysis using novel techniques. The project demonstrated the applications of the technological innovations in invaluable use cases across a number of key food chains and agricultural products and beyond, creating, of course, remarkable added value as a project. Next one. Wider areas for consideration, I would say, and the application of digital technologies includes specialty crops. Crops produced in environment-controlled production systems like mushroom production that could be addressed, of course, in future projects. In addition, the medicinal and aromatic plant value chain is a worth considering sector for digitization, since it is a sector of significant economic value and beyond, of course, in Europe with social aspect as well, increasing. For example, there are different opportunities for farmers to generate income by their involvement, let's say, in this sector or in this value chain. Furthermore, post-harvest mechanization of harvested crops offers also a great opportunity for integration of novel digital tools into on-farm primitive processing and automation. Last but not least, I would like to stress also the topic of bioeconomy. Since data, we have seen that data, of course, we saw also today that data can be collected all along the value chain, also considering bioeconomy aspect. And a very good example, for instance, is the mushroom sector, which represents an excellent example of application of circular economy in agriculture. With this, I would like to thank you for your time and your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions later on. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dimitrios, for your presentation. Next speaker will be Mike Lynch from ICB, University College Cork in Ireland. Mike is manager of the IT projects in ICBF in Cork, Ireland, which is the organization that runs the National Caddic Genetics Database. Welcome, you have 5 minutes and it's all yours.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Rosemary, for your kind introduction. I'll just give you an overview of what I have observed from the livestock projects that have come forward in DIVA. And again, I wish to congratulate all of the projects that came forward. So in all, there were about maybe 10 projects that came forward that you could class in the area of precision livestock. And a key trend in dairy and beef farming over the last number of years has been the different types of technology that have been deployed to help farmers with decision making, be it in herd management, animal welfare, or in breeding decisions. And a common trend is for technology that alerts the farmer to animals that need attention, be it for health reasons, or maybe just as part of the regular management of the animal, be it in heat elimination. So then when we move on to look at the main technological topics, this is also coming out by and large in the projects that we are seeing today. Most of the projects on the livestock side, at least anyway, are making use of some type of sensor technology that can be used to give either a direct or a predicted measurement of some aspect of the animal's physiology. We are seeing sensors that are placed on the animal itself, such as the cow's tail, through to technology that is used by the farmer or the vet to make a specific physical appraisal of the animal, through to what I have referred to here on the top right as passive sensors. This is where the animal is being observed or measured by devices without human intervention or the need to wear a device. Of course, the next component then in sensor technology like this is IoT, Internet of Things. And in this setting, this looks again at how the data gets collated from the sensors and sent on either directly to the farmer or to the data processing platform that will provide the real-time data analysis and then alert the farmer. And again, depending on the type of sensor, the IoT component will be there to a varying degree. Again, then, as I mentioned previously, some of the sensor technology makes use of a data analytics layer. And this is typically is what is used to take an individual measurement or a series of measurements from the animal. And it's using machine learning or artificial intelligence to transform these measurements into a predicted outcome, such as the animal is sick, or the animal is ready to be inseminated, or the cow is about to calve, and so on. And then finally, we are seeing then how the projects are looking to get this information back to the farmer. And as ever, mobile technology is a common method for either alerting the farmer to a cow that needs attention, or providing some tool that allows the farmer to make certain herd management decisions or breeding decisions based on the data they are seeing. So the next slide, please. So again, similar to the previous slide, this slide shows what we refer to as the components of innovation. And again, just based on what I have observed myself in projects such as this, it's interesting that one of the aims of DIVA is to look at the link between the technical experts and what I refer to here as the domain experts. The technical experts could include the sensor manufacturers or the data scientists who know a lot about the technology, while the domain experts are the farmers themselves, or the vets, or the advisors. And it's very important that in any innovation, there's strong communication between these two groups. Next, there's the need for a valuable use case. One of the risks of any innovation is that you could end up with a piece of technology that's in effect a solution looking for a problem. So what is needed is for the domain experts, i.e. farmers, to be able to identify an actual challenge or an opportunity that could benefit from the application of the technology. The ideal scenario, of course, is where there is a two-way flow of knowledge, where the technologist gets to know about the business of the farmer, and where the farmer gets to understand the capabilities of the technology. And then, of course, there's the data, not just any data, but data that's accurate, data that can be linked back to an animal or a herd, and data that can be linked to other data. It's important that the data from sensors is not used in isolation in decision-making. There have been a lot of advancements in data science over the last number of years, and a whole range of machine learning and artificial intelligence tools are quite readily available. But these tools need access to data to allow them to build accurate models and predictions. So this slide then focuses just briefly on some wider areas of consideration. Now, depending on where in the development cycle a piece of technology is, some of these considerations may not always apply. I think that with any animal data that is gathered, there are a few principles that we should consider, and these are in no particular order, and this is by no means a complete list. So firstly, it's important to maintain accurate animal identification. This involves that the animals are identified in a unique and a consistent manner. It has immense value to the data if it can be linked back to an animal in a consistent way. Next, particularly with sensor technology and predictions, it's important to validate and calibrate the sensors across a variety of animals with different age and breed profiles, and across herds with different herd management practices. Then third, I've selected standardization and harmonization of data. It's important that we get an understanding of how the data or the predictions from these sensors can be compared to other methods for measuring the same thing. And I know, for instance, organizations such as ICAR, the International Congress of Animal Recording, do a lot of work in promoting best practice and protocols in dealing with animal data. So fourth, the farmers typically have equipment and applications from a variety of service providers. And a common cause of extra work for farmers is where there is the need to record the same data on different devices. So we should look at how freely the data flows from our sensors to the other systems that the farmer is using. The fifth point here, and this is related to the previous point, there can be a lot of data gathered on farm and shared on farm, but it's important that the farmer is at the center of this and that the farmer is empowered as to what data is collected and where it is being shared. And then finally on this slide, it's important that the data is secure, that the systems we put in place are reliable and the farmers can depend on them. So look, that's a brief summary of what I've observed on the projects today and my own experience with these technologies. This is a time of a lot of innovation coming on stream in the whole area of ag tech. There's plenty of challenges facing farmers to be as efficient as possible, and the role of agriculture comes under scrutiny in areas such as traceability, animal welfare, greenhouse gas emissions. But as I say, you cannot improve what you cannot measure, and accurate animal level data has a key part in accomplishing this. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. We have questions for you, if you mind answering. The first one would be, do you think that some of the solutions presented to the Agri-Food could be applied to the forestry sector?
I must say, I know very little about the forestry sector, but I think, as ever, some core principles are probably the same in any sector, in that, you know, it comes back to having an understanding as to what the challenge is or what the opportunity is, and having the understanding of, you know, what technology is there. Certainly, any technology that can aid in decision making and making better decisions, and, you know, making decisions more efficiently, that can help in any sector. But again, I probably can't comment too much on forestry, unfortunately.
And what about technology helping in the area of animal welfare?
Yes, so certainly, you know, as we're seeing in the sensors that are, you know, that are coming forward, there is a lot of technology coming on stream in the whole area of helping farmers to be alerted to animals that are in need of attention. So, for instance, you know, there's been a lot of innovation in this over the last number of years. There are collars that can be fitted onto cows to help monitor cow movement and activity. There are ear tags that monitor the temperature of the animal. So there's been a lot of technology that looks to alert the farmer to issues such as lameness or stress. And again, all of technology complements more than replaces good animal welfare practice, but it can be another useful tool that the farmer has to hand.
Well, thank you very much, Mike, for your presentation and for being with us today as an expert. The next speaker will be Maria Teresa Linaza from BComTech from Spain. She has a degree and a PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Navarra. So please welcome Maria Teresa Linaza to her presentation.
Many thanks, Rosemary. Good afternoon, I will say already. Everyone, many thanks for inviting me to this event, and also, I mean, to the evaluation process of the DIVA project, which I think it has been very successful. I'm going to talk a little bit about the forestry and the forest projects, which, Manuel, can you just, next one, please? Which was only 7% of the projects selected, which is not much. But I think it's an emerging sector which will be one of the champions in the future Green Deal European framework. As a conclusion, I would say all the enterprises related to these projects were very small, with less than 10 employees. And also most of the vouchers were about maturation projects. So there was quite a diverse choice of technologies. In the next slide, you could see some of them. They tackle most of the most important things that are running on in the forest sector nowadays. And as someone mentioned, yes, there are some connections about all the technologies. However, the implementation of the technologies themselves is the main difference. So, for example, we have the blockchain technology, which is also nowadays starting to be used in both livestock and also agricultural products. In this case, it was oriented to the timber certification process because, as many of you may know, there are some frauds relating to the origin and also of the quality of the good. So this has to be controlled. Someone mentioned, I think Dimitrios, the terrestrial LiDAR system. I mean, LiDAR systems are used to get the info from images and also to support decision process for good professionals. Open data is a crucial issue. I think most of the people may know that already the European Union is taking care about this issue, and it will be. Agricultural sector will be one of the first sectors to go into this open data strategy from the EU. This is important for forest inventory, so it will be widely accessible, and many applications will be built upon this data. Some of my colleagues also mentioned GIS maps and all the information that could be extracted from the combination of GIS with artificial intelligence and IoT systems, especially to measure, analyze, and just take decisions about what's going on. We can sense and detect, for example, wildfires, which is a problem, especially in the Mediterranean countries. But also we can use the new technologies related to IoT to get into a vision of, not a whole vision of an inventory, but just a very personalized and 1-3 dimension. And the next slide, you could see that, as someone could imagine, the top countries are the ones that have, some kind of application in the good industry, especially Spain and Portugal, but also Italy and France with only one project, which was quite surprisingly due to the importance of the good sector, especially in the south of France. But these are more or less the areas covered. I think it was a very, the projects were very competitive. They also tackle most of the most important areas nowadays. And also I would say that one of the main issues that was tackled was the collaboration between ICT enterprises and the domain enterprises, which was a very important issue that was tackled by the DIVA project. So these were my comments, and I will accept further questions if you have. Many thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Mariette. We're gonna go directly to the conclusions because we're actually a little bit with the time almost about to finish. So I'm gonna give word now to Nicolas Guyen from Agri-Food Innovation, which you've seen before. He's the coordinator of the DIVA project. Please, Nicolas.
Yeah, Rosemary, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, thank you. So I have just a few words to conclude this very interesting morning. I won't be long because I know that we are a bit late, but I think that what I have in mind is that it's very inspiring. So what we have seen that we have many different applications and many ideas, and I must acknowledge the diversity and creativity of innovative ideas that we had in DIVA. We had some pitch from companies, but do not forget that as a whole, we had 134 projects supported by DIVA, and you can have a look at them, all of them on the DIVA website. So there is a summary of each of these projects, so you can go and discover this. Veronica Bellon and Niels Gøtke opened a very wild perspectives on what is beyond beyond us. So we still see that there are many things to. The field is very open for innovation and innovation with SMEs. So well, my message for the SMEs is that let's keep in touch, and we'll take advantage of the opportunities open at the European level to fund your project and try to maturate it and reach the market. And just one figure that was interesting concerning DIVA and more widely the cascade funding projects is that it's a very appropriate tool to reach the SMEs and give them the chance to benefit from EU fundings. Just for your information, we had a survey and 40% of the SMEs could get the EU funding for the first time. So I think it's great success just for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Now we're going to go to the awards ceremony, the main objective of this awards. Okay, are we all here? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, everything went blank. Okay, well, the main objective of this awards is to showcase the best project in the different categories. And I would like to ask Nicola, what was the criteria you followed to pick the winners? Nicola?
I have to turn on my camera. So very quickly, we had a set of criteria on quantitative and qualitative criteria to try to evaluate the projects. So as I said just now, we had many projects and most of them were very promising and very interesting. So that was very difficult to promote one instead of the others. But what I think is important in all these projects was first the innovativeness of the projects, and the second criteria was the business perspectives, and particularly at European level for the companies. And let's keep in mind also that in DIVA we had different types of vouchers, so maturation, demonstration, and internationalization. For the maturation, we were expecting new solutions and innovative solutions. For the demonstration parts, we were expecting more particularly the demonstration of the full value chain from data acquisition till the delivery of the final service at the end. And of course, for the internationalization, the objective was really to promote outside Europe as much as possible existing solutions that have been proven at EU level. That's it.
Well, thank you very much. Now let's go and see the winners. So we're gonna begin with the best maturation project, and the winner is Pythagoras Karampiperis from Land Ho, Greece. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're really proud on getting this award.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Our project was named Lanho. The challenge that we faced is that the commercial winemaking is a complex business, highly affected by climate change. And our challenge is to understand how different climate change scenarios affect decisions that are important in the commercial winemaking industry, especially decisions that have to do with the selection of grape varieties as the climate change, and also the decision on real estate management actions in order to guarantee that as the climate change, the quality and the amount of yield for grapes remains at high level for the wine making industry. The idea of our project was to use projections for different basic weather variables like temperature and precipitation, and to use such projections that come from global organizations like and initiatives like the WorkClim, to use this data, this big data, for the calculation of bioclimatic heat index for vineyards, and eventually build a full operational service with global coverage capable of providing information in these two dimensions. Thank you very much. We are really proud on getting this award.
Thank you very much. We have to say yes, the award is for the project, although Pythagoras is the one that actually is the one that's going to speak, as well as our next winner for the best demonstration project, which goes to CCLAIR, and the representative is Jose Salles from AgriConnect. Congratulations, Jose.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I am José Salles, CEO of AgriConnect, the joint venture of Resonalt and Technivue, the historical and original partners of the project. I want to thank you for choosing our project for this award. Thanks to DIVA's grant, today CCLAIR is a full service proposed to all apple orchards to optimize the production of apples tree by tree while reducing the environmental impact and labor cost. Our mapping platform acquired 100 images per minute to estimate flower density in real time on each tree and generate a map of the entire orchard. This map will be used to optimize timing program to reduce the utilization of phytosanitary products and labor costs using a modulation console guided by GPS. The efficiency of CCLAIR's technology has been assessed by a 3-year experimentation plan on the field. Thanks to CCLAIR's orchard net profit grows up to 32%. In the future, we hope to extend our service to other fruits as pears and apricots, and work on harvest estimations to optimize its logistics costs. Thank you very much for attention, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Jose, very much, and congratulations. Okay, and now our final award goes to the internationalization project, and the winner of the project is Agrifood MKT, and the representative is going to be Mario Luis. Now, he seems like we haven't been able to connect with him. We're really sorry that we're not able to give him the prize, but again, congratulations for winning, and now let's go to the audience. Oh, sorry, now they're telling me that he's here. Mario, you're here? I can see Agro Insider is here, so let's just wait a couple of seconds to see if we can hear you and see you.
Hello.
Yes, perfect.
So, good morning to everyone. Thank you for the prize. It's a pleasure for us. Our project is to know the Brazil market. We have intentions to go for this market. We use DIVA projects to know whether the market, and after the project, we have concluded that we have some skills for these markets, and we finalized to open a succursal in Brazil for the address that market. So the project is going and finalized very well for us.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all three winners. Now we're going to go to the next part and last part of the award ceremony, which is the ones that the participants votes who have chosen who is going to be the winner of the three categories. So first, we're going to start off with the best maturation project, and the winner goes to Digital Seed, represented by Remy Perron. It got 22 votes, 25% of the total votes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for the participants. So it's a great honor to have this award and to recognize the work that we did. And so I would like to thank the co-workers, people who ran the project, and collaborators, especially the INRAE, where they help us in designing this new new methodology to design crops for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Remy, really. Now we're going to go to the next prize. The best demonstration project goes to Honey AI, represented by Iratxe Perales. It got 22 votes, 28% of the total votes. Iratxe, congratulations. But Iratxe, she's not here. But well, we just want to congratulate you for the extraordinary work and presentation. And now finally, we have our best internationalization project, which is going to go to HSR Go, represented by Kevin Beole. It got 40 votes, 58% of the total votes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So we are very proud to have won this award. Just to remind you that the platform is ready, and it's going to be launched in less than 20 days. We really think that it will help boosting this circular economy, help creating more and more reuse projects everywhere. I think that's it. I hope in 20 days we'll come on the platform on the 23rd of March.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin, and congratulations to the whole team for the project. Okay, well, we have come to the end of the ceremony, but there is still a lot to come in just an hour and a half. We're just arriving to the end. I would like to remember all the registered participants that you still have time to schedule a meeting with the campaigns through the B2 Match platform for this afternoon and tomorrow morning. And the event will continue at 2 o'clock with the EU funding opportunities for SMEs. At 3 o'clock, you will have the operational facilities, the necessary step to demonstrate digital innovations. And at 4 o'clock, don't miss feedbacks and recommendations to the European Commission. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you to the speakers, to the participants. Have a great day, and I hope to see you all again next year. So have a great day, and remember, at 2 o'clock, we have the next meeting. Bye.